Off the big play in the end zone. Now the Raider offense will stay out there as they'll line up to go for two.
The Raiders will line up for the two-point conversion.
Geno's going to throw. And he's got it. The try for two is successful, and it pushes the lead up to a field goal. So they make the decision. They want a 3-point lead versus a 2-point lead, and they got it.
Yeah, at this stage of the game, it seems like the exact right thing to do. Put a little pressure on your defense, but the biggest thing now is you're making the other team chase you.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. The Patriots offense and Drake May headed back onto the field. And he had it going in the first half, that's for sure. He's really had his way with his secondary. They've been powerless to stop him, and he'll look to keep it rolling right here. They'll come out throwing here on first down. There's Stephon Diggs for the catch on the slant. And they work this well upfield across the 45. That one good for 20 on the catch and run.
Oh, that was a nice job there. Quarterback and receiver reading the pressure that was brought. They both knew it was going to open up the middle of the field. Nice little shake and bake in the line of scrimmage. Got right into his route. And the quarterback hit him in stride, and he was able to run free after the catch.
To the air, May. And down he goes, brought down a Raider sack. A loss of 4 that time on the sack, and it brings up second.
Well, he was really focused downfield, but there was really no viable options. The coverage was too good.
And the defense really quickened the tempo of that play with their pass rush because there was nowhere for him to go with the football. The only place he ended up, down on the ground.
2nd and 14 as they've got work to do here after the sack. They'll drop the throw. Over the middle, complete. That's Douglas.
And that was yardage that they needed there after the sack on first down. They didn't get all of it back, but now they look at third down as a manageable situation, one that they have a much better chance of picking up.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down.
Back to throw here.
And this pass broken up. The contact well timed there, and now 4th down.
From a defensive perspective, they had exactly what you want anytime they want to throw the football. There was pressure on the quarterback. They were getting after him, and they tightened down on the receivers and forced the incompletion.
The Patriots send out their punter as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And no return possible here as they angle this one out of bounds.
The Raiders offense and their running back getting set for this next possession. And you have to imagine this defense saying, how do we stop this guy? He has run roughshod through him to this point in the 3rd quarter. The offense for Las Vegas about set to begin the drive. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out. Looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down.
Holding offense.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold.
So the big gain all for naught for the offense. That yellow flag is going to bring it back.
Oh, what a tough look for the offense because they see all that yardage lost and that ball's walked back and then some behind the original line of scrimmage.
He'll get 3, but it leaves him with a big hole here on 3rd and very long.
Let's give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They've been able to move the ball really well on the ground the entire game, and while that wasn't a huge one, that's okay. They'll take them in short, steady bursts.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And that is incomplete.
Just a disaster of a series here. 3rd and long, no one open anywhere. This ball just has to be thrown to the sideline.
Here's A.J. Cole now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Jones on the return. That'll be a 50-yard punt with 8 on the return. And they will take over 1st and 10. The Patriots offense and their quarterback ready to go once more. And he's been a nightmare to scheme against throughout this one. This defense has been totally taken apart, and that is borne out in his numbers. He's been terrific all game long. On a determined run there as he's going to take this all the way down near the 40.
Illegal block in the back. Offense.
An unfortunate time for the penalty there. That cancels out a positive play from this offense.
Well, not to sound too trite or too accepting, but you and I both know it happens. You got to accept it and move on. Yardage, you got to get back. Focus on the next play. Move on.
And he's brought down. That one good for 13 at a New England 1st down.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion.
It certainly didn't appear that that's where he wanted to go with the ball initially, so he tried to get something out of it by dumping it off to his running back unsuccessfully.
Second and 10.
Henderson running straight ahead. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
And the Raiders call on a nickel set for 3rd down. They're going to look to throw. And this is going to be incomplete. The Raider defense strong on that one in coverage, and now it's 4th.
Well, if you got to give out a little applause on that play, it has to go to the defense. More good work by them. They've taken away the passing lanes all game long, and you can see the frustration that it's causing because he just about threw that one into the 1st row.
They'll try and throw for it with May. He's got the connection over the middle to Diggs. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. A gutsy call. Turns out to be a good one, though. 1st down on a pickup of 11. Boy, that's some kind of effort. When he caught it, I doubted if he could get there. Knew it was going to be close, but credit him. Really good effort.
How about the rack on that play, the run after catch? But most of the time we think of it as just being an open field and picking up yardage. Sometimes you have to be real physical in order to gain the yardage you need for a 1st down.
And he'll slide to a halt here. Still a little shy of the 1st down marker. He'll get 10 there all on his own, but it'll be 2nd down.
I think the last 2 plays really illustrate how difficult it is to game plan against this guy because you know he can throw the football, but how about his use of legs as well? What we call those broken plays, you can't account for them.
Yeah, those plays, those 2 that you just mentioned, a microcosm.
To the right side and intercepted. And the Raiders are going to take possession here at their own 16-yard line. And that could turn out to be a giant play, Charles. You've got an offense driving to take the lead, but they're turned away on the INT.
And I think that we might look back on this in the 4th quarter and say, that was the play of the game.
The Raiders offense now, they trot back out.
These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 1st downs because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And from the 15, they're able to work this up to the 20 for a pickup of a handful.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
Here's 3rd and 6. Geno now to throw. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And now off to the races down the right side. And he will score. Touchdown, Las Vegas. Trey Tucker, an 80-yard touchdown. And the Raiders are able to widen their advantage.
Partner, you know what the real key is to stopping a good passing attack?
You tell me.
Being able to tackle as soon as a guy catches the football.
Didn't work out there.
No, because when you give up the big run after catch, the rack yardage, that puts your defense in a big-time stressful position.
A lot of rack yardage and a touchdown there on the big play. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And it ends with a Las Vegas touchdown. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. The home team's offense and their quarterback set to take the field once more. And it's been a struggle for him all afternoon. This defense has really done a nice job of making him earn everything he gets, and it's prevented him from getting into any kind of rhythm here today. New England with a first down as they begin the drive. And the last time out, they had the good drive going. You get in the red zone, they throw the interception. Not their first pick of the game either, so we'll see if they're more careful, more cautious here on this drive.
Yeah, nothing worse than repeat mistakes, right? You end up coughing the ball up, you end up throwing a pick, everything goes awry. And now, points don't go up on the board. I just heard a fan scream out, I thought the idea was to score points. Yeah, they're getting a little restless too.
They'll go back to Henderson on first down. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
Well, if you like the guys who run the ball, you're enjoying watching this. But the other guys, especially the defense coordinator, trying to figure out an answer on how to slow down the running game, I think maybe starts to call more blitzes because you can call run blitzes in order to try and get more people to the point of attack.
Again, it's Henderson. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
But we always talk about good down and distance, allowing offenses to expand their playbook. Well, 2nd and 2, that means your playbook's wide open. You can run just about anything. But a lot of times, the play caller, he just looks down at his sheet, sees the short yardage runs, and goes to one of those.
He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards.
Sometimes you're aligned perfectly and the play comes to you, and sometimes you got to cover some ground to go make the play, as we just saw there.
We saw a great example of perseverance right there on that play.
Got to be careful. They might want to throw one over his head as this game progresses.
Throwing here is May. A quick throw going to be caught by Diggs. And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
They'll try and run for the first with Stevenson. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. A rough go there on 3rd down, a loss of 4.
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
The Patriots send out their punter as he's on to kick it away. That one sails out of bounds. The side judge will walk it off. And he says it went out of bounds at the 9-yard line. Nice punt. The Raiders offense and Geno Smith headed back out for this next possession. And as we show you some of the highlights from earlier, he has been instrumental in getting his guys the lead as he looks to finish strong and close this one out.
Let's go old school there. That's absolutely a great coffin corner punt. Someone's put some time in working on that, hasn't it?
Seems like every year these guys get better and better. It's amazing how they can command that football through the air.
Yeah, they used to actually practice with hula hoops where they place them and try and put them there. Now a lot of guys use barrels on the sidelines to try and put the football in one.
102 yards rushing for him now as he's done it on 19 carries.
Yeah, another good run there. He's been such a big part of their success here this afternoon. And that last carry, it puts him over 100 yards now for the day.
On 1st and 10, it's Mostert. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31.
Now, Brandon, that's the way you want to run the football. There should almost be quote bubbles above the offense right now. Bam, boom, biff. That's how they feel good about moving the football.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. Throwing is Smith. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Myers. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A gain there of 21 yards. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Foxborough. It's the Raiders with a lead and the football here as we get ready to start quarter number 4. From the gun, a run with Mostert. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. In trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
They'll fake it. Now Smith. Tucker hauls it in over the middle. And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Patriots 35. 14 yards is the pickup there at a Raider first.
But when you're up by 2 scores in the 4th quarter and you're going to throw the football, expect to see a lot of man coverage because usually what comes along with man coverage is pressure. So if you're a play caller and you want to keep throwing the football, that's fine. Just make sure your offensive line understands they're going to get additional guys running at the quarterback.
On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down. Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely. You want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
Now a quick throw out wide to Myers. That'll put him at 77 yards receiving for the ball game. It's a first down.
A gain of 9 yards. First down, Raiders.
Smith. He'll get this into the hands of Mostert. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll leave him with a second and just a few inches left. Now a handoff running through the middle. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11.
Only a gain of a yard, but that's all they needed.
How about this offensive line? They're really starting to establish themselves, take over this game.
And before the series began, I know exactly what was said in the defensive huddle. Guys, we got to get no less than a 3-and-out. Let's get off the field. Instead, they can't find any traction towards doing that. Right now, they're just getting muscled all over the field and getting pushed down it.
And that's going to be caught for a Raider touchdown. Jacoby Myers with his second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Raiders go coast to coast and finish the drive off with 6 points. An important score there, CD, and now an important extra point because it would make it a 3-score game.
Love the math there, and at this point in the fourth quarter, look, we all need next-gen stats, right? We all use them, but we don't need them here, do we? Because that means it's almost a certain victory.
Carlson now to add the extra point. And that'll make this a 3-score game as the lead moves to 17. A 10-play drive that time. And it was all capped off by Jacoby Myers on the touchdown reception. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped at the 23-yard line. New England's offense set to go. Well, this game, it has had no shortage of offense. They've been able to put up a decent amount of points on this side, Charles. They just have not been able to keep pace with the other offense they're going against here.
Yeah, that's a good way of pointing things out because now it's not a total loss because, as you said, they've scored some points, so there's some plays they can build on, moments where the game plan actually worked. But overall, though, they were just out personnel. They were going up against a team that's playing at an elite level.
Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on first down. Here's May. He finds Douglas complete. And he will cover up as he's touched down after a short gain. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
2nd and 9 from the 44. Looking to throw. May. It's complete to Diggs. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
This offense so far on 3rd down, 5 out of 9 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And he'll find Henderson there. It's complete. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle comes at the Raiders' 40. And they get 10 yards there and convert on 3rd. Well, those are the types of plays they probably wish they had made more of in the first 3 quarters. And this deficit going to be tough to overcome here in the 4th. But a nice first down and a pickup on that throw.
Yeah, and this is where as coaches, you're looking for effort and execution even though the scoreboard is going against you. You want to find out who's going to fight, who's going to scrap, who's going to keep their heads up and continue to play.
Open man, that's Henry. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Now a 2nd and 2. To throw, it's May. They'll set up the screen for Gibson. And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. 7 yards there and a first down.
Well, they've certainly done a nice job spreading the ball around on this drive. This time he gets it out to his back, and it's another nice play and another first down. They've got the defense on their heels a little bit. They're reacting instead of being aggressive and making plays.
Out of the gun, they give to Henderson. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. Getting to the ball that time was Jeremy Chin.
We knew both of these safeties were good in run support, but how about the play we just saw there? How about that closing speed? Able to get to the outside part of the field and turn that play into a loss.
A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12. A quick throw caught out wide by Bourne. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. That was the 8th play of the drive, so a somewhat fitting pickup of 8 yards.
When you call a wide receiver screen, no matter how many blockers you get in front of the guy that catches the ball, there's still an aspect of the guy catching it, turning into a runner, breaking tackles and creating his own yardage, and he just did on that play.
From the gun on 3rd down is May. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And the Patriots are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
Well, I can put my defensive cap on right now, and I know they're saying don't give up any big plays now. They've controlled this game throughout, and all they want to do is see it through to the end. I think they let their guard down a little bit with that last completion. Sometimes when you're trying not to give up bigger plays, you don't react as fast as you should on other throws.
Here's Stevenson, and he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down.
Sometimes I think these defensive tackles get a little bit of a bum rap. We just see them as big guys that eat up blockers for others to make tackles. Oftentimes they're quicker than they get credit for, and this time he used his quickness to make a play.
The tight end Henry here in motion. Again, Stevenson. And running room hard to come by here. He gets it down to the 8. Only a couple yards there, and that's going to set up a long 3rd and goal.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball on this drive, and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally, because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
And he's in. Touchdown, Patriots. Drake May, an 8-yard touchdown run. And the Patriots have got it back to a 2-score game here in the 4th. So a little bit of a letdown there defensively. I mean, look, you're still 2 scores to the good, CD, but things may be a little more uncomfortable than they had hoped.
Yeah, if you'd kept them out of the end zone there, this game's over. You've locked the door on them. Instead, it's still open a little bit, and they've got a puncher's chance.
Now the extra point. And the lead is trimmed down to 10. That one in the books as a 12-play drive. And the capper that put it in the end zone, a run of 8 yards. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. The visitors' offense and their running back getting ready to go back to work. And he has put in a full game's work and then some. Just an incredible performance on the ground to this point in the 4th quarter. The Las Vegas offense ready to start this next drive. Well, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking 1st downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, 1st downs, they can't touch the ball.
2nd and 5. Throwing now is Gino. Over the middle, complete. It's Phillips. That one, a 1st down pickup of 8.
When you have someone throwing it that well, that confidently, you don't have to call the game in fear at all, do you? You just go ahead and play.
Yep, confidence with a lead to throw it here in the 4th, and boom, he's on the money.
Yeah, you don't have to tuck your head in and go like turtle at this point. You can just go ahead and play.
Open man is Myers. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down. Clock continuing to run. They'll probably wind this all the way before snapping it on 2nd down. Up the middle they go with Mostert. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
I have to chuckle to myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now I could be in that huddle with that offensive line, and I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, we're going to call a timeout. Run the football. We've got control of this thing. Get him behind us and let's go.
Their time to shine. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. It'll be a minimum pickup, and it will take us to the 2-minute warning. Robert Spillane, the linebacker, there on the tackle. So it's Raider football as we get you reset. And the scoreboard on their side, they're just looking to melt away these final couple of minutes and put this one in the left-hand column. 20, 5, and he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. A big play there. 46 yards. And the Raiders are an extra point away from making this a 3-score game.
Well, that's a good-looking rookie right there. I love how he let the play set up and then showed that explosiveness that I saw on tape in college. Remember I showed you the clip of what he was doing and setting up blocks, and then he would just go? We saw it on that play right there. That one was fun to watch.
Carlson on for the PAT. And that'll make this a 3-score game as the lead moves to 17. So the drive there took 6 plays. And the finishing touch was that nice long run into the end zone. On is the Raider kickoff unit now as they will send this one away. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. The home team's offense and their quarterback headed out for this next possession. And he has been masterful so far in leading this offense. He's kept the mistakes to a minimum. He's been on point with his passes, and he's generally been one step ahead of this defense all game long. They'll throw with May. Finding Bourne here over the middle. Now the Patriots going to use one of their timeouts as they'll get a chance to talk it over after picking up the first down. To the air, May. That's taken in by Henderson. Only able to gain a couple there, and it's second down.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. But linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field. Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice. The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield, equally good.
So the failure to connect on second down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. From the gun, it's May. And that will be incomplete as well.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration, the body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. They'll try and throw for it with May. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And now this ball picked up by the offense. But here in the final 2 minutes of the game, this will be blown dead. Only the fumbler can advance the football, so this will go back to the spot of the fumble itself. The Raiders offense now making their way back out onto the field. And as we look back at how we got here, you'll notice a common theme in these highlights. A lot of yardage through the air. The passing game has been sharp right from the outset. on first down, they'll go to the ground attack. And they've got it in the red zone now, down at about the 19. 161 yards rushing for him now to this point.
Good gain there on first down, and keeps him in a running situation probably.
They did everything right on that play, didn't they? They got the leverage up front, good blocking, nice hole for him, ends up picking up nice yardage, stays in bounds to keep the clock rolling. They are in charge of this scenario right now. They want to stay that way.
And not in any rush offensively. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down. So this one a victory for the Las Vegas Raiders.
And we talk so much about the turnover battle, determining who wins, who loses. This game, no exception. Error-free football, no turnovers at all, and they win it.
So this is one you don't have to convince your team that what you're saying is accurate. And you know what I'm talking about. Head coach always stands up in front of the team and says, guys, if we do this, this, and this, we'll win. And usually they say if we win the turnover battle, we'll win. Well, here's the proof right there. Win the turnover battle, go on to victory. Now the guys believe. You move on to the next lesson where you have to convince them. This one is now planted.
So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.